I'd start with what is coaching. So I want to tie into what Tom was saying, and if you were to come to me and wanted some career coaching advice, I would work with you over time, and it would all be about open-ended questions. So I might say, what would you find exciting about working for Turner Construction? What do you look for in your environment when you go to work every day? What kind of people do you want to be around every day? What's important to you? Flexibility, structure, work-life balance, you know. So the whole coaching process would really be about self-discovery and figuring out what it is that you want to do, and more importantly, what it is that you know you now don't want to do. I mean, I was coaching with one of the veterans we work with, and a lot of what we went through was figuring out what he didn't want to do, because he was qualified to do a gazillion things, really. I mean, he has like 2 masters and all this other stuff. It's crazy. So it was really hard to actually get him to nail down and figure out what it is that he should do, because he looked at all these opportunities and he was willing to just jump at the first thing he had. So that's kind of what coaching is. If I was doing career coaching, those are the kinds of questions. There's usually 45-minute or hour sessions for each coaching. You have a coaching contract. That's really important, where you agree to how much time you're going to spend and what your goal is. So the first thing, if you came to me, would be, how much time do we have, and what would you find valuable today in this session? Because you can't figure out your entire life through a coaching process in 45 minutes or an hour. So you have to figure out what you want to do in that time at that moment. So that's just a very brief summary of kind of what coaching is. That's a good career coaching example. Right now I'm doing more leadership coaching. And leadership coaching, there's a real trend right now in leadership coaching, but I want to step back, because before any of you start any business, the first thing you should do is figure out how big the industry is. Because if it doesn't have growth and it's not very big, then chances are you're not going to be very successful. Some of the people, when Amanda and I do workshops, they're like, oh, I went online and there's like 8 million people doing what I'm doing, and I'm like, that's a good thing. If 8 million people are doing that, that means there's a market there for it. If there's 5 people doing it, there probably is no market. There's not a large enough industry to really make a living at it. So the coaching industry worldwide is over $1 billion, and it's growing at almost 7% a year. So, you know, you look at things like that, that's an example, but for anybody who wants to start a business, that's where you start. How big is the industry? How much is it growing? And what is your niche within that industry? So then you wonder in coaching, well, how much could you make? You could make anywhere from $27,000, $30,000 a year to over $200,000 a year or more. It just really depends. It depends on your experience. It depends on your certification levels. But I would say on average, a certified coach probably charges about $250 an hour. So it's not a bad career. The interesting thing about coaching is that there's leadership coaching, there's small business coaching, there's personal life coaching, there's career coaching. Personal life coaching is a little saturated, but the growth in executive and leadership coaching is growing exponentially. So if you are interested in maybe becoming a coach, you have to find the right training program. And right here in Georgetown, they have an excellent career coaching program. It's expensive. It's like $14,000 a year, but they have a veteran program. Actually, we know a guy, Vince Laurent, who just went through it, and I think it was pretty much paid for by his veteran GI Bill and whatever discounts they give. So those are in person. So AU has one, Georgetown has one. They're in person. But you can go on to the International Coach Federation website and you can find online courses, which is what I took. And what was cool about that is there were people from all over the world in this class. I mean, there was somebody from Dubai and Thailand and Canada, and it was actually really interesting. You also want to make sure you find a program where you're actually learning how to coach. And that's on, in classroom coaching, peer-to-peer coaching. You're not just learning fundamentals, you're actually coaching and learning how to coach. So trends in coaching are that it's becoming more and more automated. My peer coach lives in Washington State, and half her clients live on the East Coast. So you have to be able to have technology. We use Zoom a lot. You could use Skype. But it's more and more less face-to-face and more automated and technologically driven. So more and more industry expertise is being required. I mean, I came from financial services. I feel very comfortable when I'm coaching leadership in financial services. If you take a coaching class, they'll tell you don't need to have that industry expertise, but the trend is that more and more companies are asking for that. So it just depends. You also have to be able to demonstrate your results. We hired a coach for one of the boards I'm on. We paid this woman $70,000 for a 9-month contract. And I saw zero difference in the CEO that we hired. Zero. And so one of the trends is that when you're paying that kind of money, more and more people are requiring there's some level of improvement. So a lot of times you do a 360 before and a 360 after, so you have some measurable improvement in this person's perception. A 360 is a survey that goes out anonymously. It's a series of questions about the person that you want to rate. And it asks things like, does this person seek feedback in making decisions? It depends on what you're trying to seek, but do they get along with their peers? Do they give you constructive feedback? It's just it can be anywhere from 20 to 200 questions. It just depends. And then that person gets that feedback, and we coach on that feedback, and then hopefully they improve. Well, at Bank of America, we got them every 2 years, and the very first one I got was an in-person. They stopped doing that because it was ridiculous. But everybody who got one sat down at a table, and they gave you your little envelope. It was all sealed. And the guy next to me opens his and starts crying. I was like, dude. He's like, it's so bad, Cindy, it's so bad. He quit. He quit. It was, I've never seen so they can be real rude awakening, really rude awakening. So then, so now you've decided you want to be a coach, and I have to tell you, there's zero barriers to entry. There's no overhead. The only thing you really have to think about is how you're going to get trained and certified, and you really should get certified through the International Coach Federation. And then how you market yourself. And you can do that in any number of ways. You can do it through social media. You can do it through your own network. There's lots of people out there. As soon as you go on LinkedIn and say you're a coach, you get bombarded with people that are going to help you market your business. But you got to be a little careful. But there are, a million programs out there. You can also go to work, like almost every major financial institution hires coaches. But they hire a firm. And so if you are certified as a coach, you can go work for that firm as a contract employee, and then you can get experience that way, and then you can network that way. And so there's a lot of major corporations do that as well.
Sandy, how do you get certified as a coach?
So you have to be, that's why when you're getting your training program, you really should make sure the training program is certified by the International Coach Federation or a similar organization. The ICF, the International Coach, is probably the most well-renowned coaching certification program. And you can also market through them. You can get yourself on their website. You can do, if you remember, they offer all kinds of resources for you. And there's 3 levels of certification. The basic level is ACC. You need 100 hours of coaching. You need 60 hours of classroom training, and you need 3 hours of mentor coaching. And then you can take a test, get your ACC. The next level is PCC. You need 500 hours of coaching, and you take another test. And then master coaching, which there are very few people, those people charge at least $500 an hour. And that's who taught the class I took, was a master coach.
Cindy, we had a program, and Amanda remembers it, with the University of Maryland, I believe it was.
They have a
where
coaching program?
They had coaching training, and they needed to build up their hours when they graduated from that program.
Oh, that was through Georgetown. That was the
Georgetown,
woman
yeah.
that came and talked, because I was there that day.
Right, and you can enroll
Yeah.
in Georgetown in a program.
Yeah.
She came from AU, but yeah.
She came, well, AU and
Yeah.
Georgetown, similar programs. One's a little cheaper and less hours. But yeah, so when I was building up my hours, I was just charging like $5 an hour. You have to charge something. You're only allowed 25 hours of pro bono. Anyway, so I know some of you don't know what you want to do, or you've thought about what you want to do, but I call it an awareness journal. And what you do is, over a couple of weeks, you jot down some of your activities, both at work and at home. For instance, I cooked dinner tonight for my family. And then you rate that as to, were you really focused when you did that, or did it give you a lot of energy, or were you completely drained and completely distracted? And you do that with a bunch of different activities over a couple of weeks, and every couple of days you should stop and look and see what are the things that you did that drained you, what are the things that made you super energetic, that you never tired of, what made you focus. And after you do that for a couple of weeks, you sort of get an idea of where you should put your energy. Where are your strengths? What should you be doing with your life? For those of you who don't quite know.